Welcome to this demonstration on the great usability features available in SAP Business One. This demonstration will cover the following topics: customizing the form grids via form settings, renaming input field labels, user-defined fields creation, form user interface editing, formatted searches, and my shortcuts. To start off, let's have a look at the ease of creating a user-specific view of a particular marketing documents form grid. In this example, the AR invoice. Here you can see that currently displayed within the grid are the item number, item description, quantity, unit price, and total columns. Within the Business One toolbar, you can access the form settings and select the Table Format tab. Here I can easily select other columns to become visible within the grid, with the option of not having them as active fields, and I can also remove certain columns from the grid. Let's add the stock unit of measure column as well as the discount percentage column to the grid. Clicking OK will insert these columns into the grid. What I can also do is I can rearrange the column order to my liking. As an example, I might want to move the discount percentage column after the quantity column. This can be easily done by clicking and holding the specific column in question and dragging and dropping it to the desired order location. As you can see, by clicking OK, the columns are now in the specific order to my liking. Another great usability feature within SAP Business One is the ability to rename the input fields according to your business requirements. If you look at the Business Partner Master Data form, you can see that we have an alias name field available under the General tab. As an example, we might want to rename this input field to a more business relevant name, such as BP Loyalty Code. By holding in the Control key and double-clicking the field label, SAP Business One allows me to rename this field. As a base practice, you can select the label to be bold or italics to indicate that this field label is in fact renamed differently from the standard default. To revert back to the original label name, you can hold in the Control key, double-click, and restore the defaults. Sometimes situations exist where additional fields are required by your business within the specific functions and forms of SAP Business One. These user-defined fields or UDFs can easily be created within Business One without any programming or technical skills. Within the Business One menu bar, navigate to Tools, Customization Tools, User-Defined Fields Management. Here you can see that user-defined fields can be added to many functions and forms within SAP Business One. The user-defined fields, such as in marketing documents, can be added to the header tables or the line tables within Business One. In this example, I need an additional field to be available within the Business Partner Master Data that allows for an identification code to be entered. Under the Master Data section, I can select the business partners, and within the business partners, I can click the Add button. Here I can enter the name of the field to be added to the database structure, as well as the field label name that will be displayed for the end user. I can also select several field types that are appropriate for the field in question. My identification code needs to cater for alphanumerics and would never exceed a length of 10 characters. I can now select Add to proceed with the addition of this field. SAP Business One will warn you that the database structure is about to change, and we should ensure that all users are logged off and any open forms are closed. Clicking Yes will proceed with the user-defined field addition. If I now reopen the Business Partner Master Data form, I can access my newly created UDF within the UDF Side tab. Ensure that via the View menu, the User-Defined Fields option is enabled. By clicking on the UDF Side tab, I am now able to access my Business Partner ID code user-defined field. To improve the usability within SAP Business One, we might want to simplify the specific forms to ensure a better user experience with uncluttered forms. This can be done by editing the form's user interface. By keeping this Business Partner Master Data form open, let me show you how easy this is. Within the Business One menu bar, navigate to Tools, Edit Form UI. In this example, let's drag in the newly created user-defined field for BP ID code to the General tab. I might also want to restrict certain fields from being updated by users. This can be achieved by right-clicking on the field in question and selecting the Disable option. Furthermore, I can also hide certain fields by right-clicking and selecting the Hide option. Finally, via Form Settings, I can remove or hide certain tabs from the form. In this example, let's hide the Accounting tab. To save this custom user interface, right-click on the form and select Save. Finally, right-click on the form and leave the UI edit mode. If I now open up a Business Partner Master Data record, you will notice my new user interface. Fields are disabled, hidden, I have no Accounting tab, and my user-defined field is now part of the main Business Partner Master Data form. This example of user interface editing was done at a system-wide level. If you navigate to Administration, Utilities, UI Configuration Templates, you can design specific user interface designs per form and assign it to specific Business One users within the company. Now let me show you how you could use formatted searches within SAP Business One to automate certain field entries within an SAP Business One form or function. As a simple example, whenever an AR invoice is generated, the document date is automatically populated for convenience. However, I need to ensure that the end users retype in the correct date for better reporting accuracy, and therefore I cannot assume the default. Within my Business One menu bar, under Tools, Queries, Query Manager, I have earlier created a query from my formatted search category called blank date. This query is a simple query that returns a blank character. I have saved this query for future use. Back to the AR invoice screen, I can now attach this particular query to the document date field by holding in the key combination Alt, Shift, and F2. Within the user-defined value setup, I can now select to search existing user-defined values according to a saved query. By opening up the saved query, I can select my blank date query. I would like this field to auto-refresh itself based on another field value changing. In this example, on the AR invoice screen, when a customer code is entered, so from having no value to having the value entered, this query would be executed. So by entering the customer code in the customer field on the AR invoice screen from blank to a value, the formatted search will be executed, creating a blank document date. This will in turn ensure that the user now enters an appropriate document date. Let me introduce you to a more complex example using screen variables. This time, I want SAP Business One to automatically populate the journal remark within the AR Invoice Accounting tab with text that displays customer invoice as well as the business partner ID code we created as a user-defined field earlier on the business partner master data. To aid me in creating the underlying user-defined query that will be executed as part of this formatted search, I can go to View, System Information, to display the table and field name in the bottom left-hand corner. On the AR invoice screen, you can see that this field is in the OINV table and is represented by the field name card code. We need to use the screen variable for OINV.cardcode as the record has not yet been inserted into the OINV table. Again, this formatted search will be based on a query that I created earlier within my query manager. Under the formatted search category, I have a query called JE_remark. Screen variables can be extracted from an active form within a query with the following syntax: $square bracket table name dot field name close square bracket. With the active form open, you can test the extraction of the screen variable by executing the query under Tools, Queries, User Queries, and finding the specific query in question. Here you can see that the query has in fact picked up my screen variable and appended it to my standard customer invoice text. Let's implement this formatted search. Clicking in the journal remark and pressing Alt Shift F2, we can access the user-defined value setup screen again. Again, we will search in existing user-defined values according to a saved query. Let's open up our saved query. And again, we want to auto-refresh the field when another field changes. In this example, let's use the document date, as we know this will change based on our previous formatted search. Let's test this out. Opening up the AR invoice screen and entering the customer code will trigger the first formatted search and create a blank document date. By now entering an appropriate document date, this field should trigger my second formatted search, which will now display my custom text in the journal remark. Let's create an AR invoice transaction to view the underlying journal entry that is created as part of this invoice addition. If I navigate back to my AR invoice under the Accounting tab and I view the underlying journal entry, you will notice that my new custom text is available on the journal entry lines as well as on the journal header. To end off, let's look at the ability to assign certain forms and functions to the F2 through F12 keys on the keyboard. The F1 key may not be assigned as this is already linked to the online help. Let's assign the sales quotation to the F2 key. Navigate to Tools, My Shortcuts, and Customize. Here you can see that F2 through F12 are available for allocation. For the F2 key, let's find the sales quotations under the Sales AR module and click Allocate. Let's continue with the F3 key and allocate the business partner master data to this key. Finally, in this example, let's allocate F4 to the sales analysis report under Sales AR. Now I can immediately start using my F2 key to open up a sales quotation, my F3 key to open up the business partner master data, and finally, by pressing F4, I can launch the sales analysis report. These keyboard shortcuts are defined on a per-user basis. As you can see, there are many usability features available in SAP Business One to take immediate advantage of, not only to streamline your business processes, but also simplify your daily tasks.